Right, done. So when done, you can see the screen. We are going to see the basic sessions. We are going to start an exact session here. So we have already discussed from where the Linux came. Okay, so Linux is nothing but a Unix-like operating system. Okay, and Linux is an operating system developed by Linus Torvald in 1991. Okay, in 1991, the Linus Torvald has developed this operating system. Okay, and he have took the source of mini Unix and he started developing it Linux operating system, and he made this Linux operating system open source. But later on, Red Hat took this source and they made it as a closed source operating system. Apart from Red Hat Linux, there are so many Linux operating systems that you're going to find, that are CentOS, SUSE, Ubuntu, Monkey Linux. There are so many Linux you're going to find. And Linux is a combination of GNU application and Unix kernel. And when I talk about Red Hat Linux, like Red Hat Linux, there are so many flavors of Linux you find. And what is the difference between Red Hat Linux and say other open source Linux operating system is Red Hat is commercial, and other flavors of Linux is closed. I mean to say open source. Okay. So when I talk about open source, it is free of cost. Okay. And when I talk about Sun, IBM, and HP are the Unix flavor operating systems. Okay, and when I talk about the principle of Unix or principle of Linux, and here don't confuse when we are discussing basics, because basics is common to Linux as well as Unix. So sometimes I may use a terminology called Unix, sometimes I may use a terminology called Linux. No need to confuse here. So the basics, whatever we are discussing, that is common to Linux and Unix. Okay, and when we talk about Unix or Linux principle, what is the principles here, what it is going to provide? So basically in Unix or Linux, everything is treated as a file. Everything is treated as a file. So when I say everything is treated as a file, what does that mean? File is treated as a file, directory is treated as a file, and device is treated as a file. Understand? File, directory, devices, all this informations. So what is directory? You know, folders, right? We will call folders in Windows, and that folders in Linux is called directories. And devices, what is device? We have a hard disk, we have an IC card, we have a DVD-ROM. All these devices are also treated as a file. Okay, so when I talk about the device is also treated as a file, for example, I'm having a SCSI disk. Okay, before we discuss about this, I will tell you a small example. So do you connect anytime pen drive, a flash drive on your machine? Yes or no?
Yes.
So when you connect a flash drive, what it will say? It will simply say that there is some new hardware found. After a few seconds, it gives the vendor information. After a few seconds, it will give you the drivers are loading, and after a few seconds, the driver is ready. I mean, device is ready to use. Right? So whenever you say the device is ready to use, then what happens? It pop-ups some letter, some drive letter saying that D or E or F, and when you click on that, you can view the data inside the flash drive. Yes or no?
Yes.
So like this it is going to work. And when it comes to Linux also, same thing happens. But in Linux, you will not get the informations of the device like a pop-up screens. Okay, so what happens here is in Linux, when you connect any device to your server, my kernel is nothing but operating system, is going to load the device drivers. When the kernel loads the device driver, what happens here? When the kernel loads the device driver, okay, the device related a logical file will be generated. Device related logical file will be generated, and this logical file is a pointer to your physical device, because we can't communicate with the physical device, right? Because the physical device interacts in machine readable language, and as a human being we will communicate in human readable language, right? So this will be a clash between the machine and human. That's the reason the device driver, which makes us interaction between a device and the user. Okay, and this device driver generates a logical file related to the device, and this logical file which represents that particular device. For example, in Linux, when you connect a disk called SCSI disk, you know SCSI stands for Small Computer System Interface. This is a type of a disk you find in the environment. You know, there are so many types of hard disks you find: IDE hard disk, SATA hard disk. SATA is nothing but whatever the laptop or desktops you're using, there is with SATA. Okay, and apart from FC disk, Okay, SAS disk, there are so many types of disks we find. So many means 4 to 5 types of disks we are going to find. Take an example, if you have a SCSI disk, so what will be the logical name for a disk? For example, I'm having two SCSI disks, SDA, SDA, and SDB. This is a disk naming convention. Take an example, we have a NIC card that is called network interface card. So what is the name it is going to give you to the network interface card? It is named something as ETH0 and ETH1 if you have a two interfaces. Understand? And if you have a CD or DVD, if I'm having a DVD-ROM on my Linux machine, so how it is going to name? It is going to name something called SR0. So this is the naming conventions that it is going to provide. And this all the naming conventions are stored in a form of logical files in a /dev directory. /dev is nothing but devices. /dev is nothing but devices. So all your devices logical files are stored in /dev. Understood up to here?
Sir,
Here. So whenever you want to, yes, please tell me.
what is the SDA and SDB? That means the.
SDA and SDB are the logical names of the disks.
Okay.
I'm having two disks, and for these two disks, we are going to access these two disks with the name called SDA and SDB. So wait for 1 minute. I'll just show you practically, then you'll easily understand how it is going to happen. What is this? And today we will see the introduction. Tomorrow we will see the installation also. Did you see in any time Linux installation?
No. No, sir.
No, totally new. So fine. So what we will do today, we will just discuss the overview of the Linux, and tomorrow we will see the rest of the things and we will see installation. Okay?
Okay.
And I'll also mail you the OS image. Otherwise, you can download it from Red Hat site also.
Okay.
But only thing is, if you want to download an operating system, Red Hat Linux operating system from Red Hat, you should register yourself with that Red Hat company with a domain ID. What is domain ID? If you are working with some company, they will give you some domain ID, right? I don't know. With that domain ID only, if you have to register, and they will activate that account within 24 hours, then only you can download it.
Oh.
Okay. So if it is not possible, then it's no problem. I will just share the image of the Red Hat 6.5 using Google Drive to your email address, and you can download it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And you have to download VMware Workstation. Do you have VMware Workstation with you?
Yes, sir. We have VMware Player.
VMware Player also works, but if you want to see, if you want to feel a little bit comfort, and if you want to do some R&D on the VMware, and VMware Player is not sufficient. Okay. So I recommend you to go for VMware Workstation 11. Even that also can be downloaded from the internet. No need to register anywhere. Okay, go to Google and just say www.vmware.com or just say VMware Workstation 11 download. Okay, for x86 64-bit, you download it, and when you are installing it, you just inform me. I'll provide you a key. You can use it. It's a lifetime key. You can use it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So that I'm going to provide you tomorrow session. Okay. So tomorrow before we start, I'll give you all the mail, everything I'll want. So this is the machine. Can you see this? I'm just logging into the machine. Okay. So whenever I'm just logging as a normal user, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. And all the time you have to remember, we will never sit in the front of the server in the real times, right? Your data center is located in some remote state or remote countries, right? So you are going to connect that particular servers with the help of these tools that is called putty configuration tools. There are so many different types of tools that is available, but I will tell you 60 to 70% of environments they are going to use this tool only to connect to the server.
Okay.
Okay, so I have just used this only to connect the machine. Okay, and you see when I logged into the machine, I logged into the machine as a Chandar. This is my username, and this is the server name. That is called I mean, we will say computer name, right? In Windows, here it is called host name. Host name.
Okay.
Understand? And this dollar indicates that you are a normal user. You just make a note of this. Dollar indicates that it is a normal user. And what is this symbol indicates? This symbol indicates that you are in the home directory.
Okay.
Home directory means when I start storing the data as a user called Chandar, it is going to store in this particular directory. What is that directory? /home/Chandar. Okay, and PWD stands for present working directory. This is the information. Clear, right? And let me take you to the /dev. /dev is a directory. When I say ls, this is all the device files. Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
This is all the device file. For example, I will give you an example about the hard disk. So you may see the hard disk with a name called SDA. Can you see this? SDA, SDA1, SDA2. Do you see? I have highlighted it here.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is SDA. SDA is a disk. SDA1, SDA2 are the partitions.
Okay.
Understand? And the SR0, you can see SR0. SR0 is nothing but CD-ROM, DVD-ROM. Okay, so like this it is going to. So we will be discussing more about this logical naming conventions in the later sessions, but you just remember that /dev is a directory. It contains all the devices logical names, and all the times when you want to access the device, we will put the absolute path /dev/sda. This is a full path. I mean, don't put cd. I'm just putting it. This is a way. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this is a disk. This is SDA is a disk. Can you see it is saying disk here? Can you see this? It is a disk.
Yes, sir.
Okay, when I say ls-l/dev/sr0, what it is? SR0 is?
SR0
SR0 is
DVD
a
DVD-ROM.
CD or DVD ROM. Yes, absolutely. Okay, if I say ls-l/dev/dm-0, what is this? This is also a disk. Okay, so this is the way how you're going to find it out. Okay,
Okay.
clear? That's the thing. Okay, so now this is the information. Now let me go to the text file, and the next thing is the configuration data stored in a form of text. So basically, you know that when you go for Windows, all your configuration files is stored in binary format, right? But whereas when it comes to the Linux or Unix, it is stored in the text format. Okay, and the next thing is it is a small and single purpose program. Okay, and it is having ability to support multi-programming languages like Shell, Perl, Python. Getting my point? So you know, like in Windows, we will configure C programming, Java programming, HTML programming, right?
Yes.
Yes or no? So at the same time, when it comes to the Linux or Unix, it contains built-in programming languages like Shell, Perl, Python. Okay, now when I talk about shell, there are different types of shells in the Linux. So what is the default shell in Linux? Bash shell. Okay, so let me explain you what is shell. Just I'll give an overview information about that. See, when you log into the Windows, without my computer, without right click, without a task manager, without a start button, can we work?
No.
That is a basic environment, right?
Yes.
Okay, when the user logs in, without that, he can't do any operation there. Yes or no? At the same time, as a user, when I log into my machine, you can see this is a console we logged in, right? So when you log into the machine, if you want to run any command, it should be a shell. There should be a shell. And how do you know that what type of shell we are having? We can run this particular command and we can know what type of shell it is. What type of shell we are having?
Bash.
Bash shell. This is a shell. Okay, echo is something like a print command. You know, we will use print command. Okay, so print followed by any name, it will print that name. Understand? And echo is also such a kind of thing. But when I say echo $shell, from where it is getting this information, every user will contain environment variables. Okay, from that environment variables only it is going to list. For example, I will just run env. Do you see the environment variables for a user?
Yeah.
Okay, and I just said something called shell. Do you see the shell information here? Do you see this is a shell information?
Okay.
You see that? So you can run this echo dollar and you can put any environment variable here and it is going to give you information. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
So SSH nothing we have. So this is the information, right? And understood up to here, right? Okay. And Unix is an operating system converts human readable language to machine readable and vice versa. And OS is a collection of softwares and program. And what is software? The program and other operating informations used by the computer is called software. And program is nothing but a computer program is a set of instructions for a computer to perform specific tasks. And when we talk about the OS, we have two types of operating systems here. One is single user, another one is multi-user. So what is single user? Do you find any single user operating systems in the current market? You will not find, because nowadays every operating system is something multi-user. Okay, so what do you mean by single user and multi-user? We will see. Single user means one user can access the system resources is known as single user. Only one user. Example, Windows 95, Windows 98 DOS. Okay, what is system resources means? CPU, memory, disk, NIC card. This is called system resources. What is multi-user? Multiple users can access the system resources is known as multi-user operating system. Example of multi-user operating system is Unix, Windows. Like Windows, any kind of server operating system you take, they are all multi-user. Even right now, the client operating systems are also multi-users. Okay, so this is the difference between single user and a multi-user operating system. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we are going to discuss Unix features. So whatever the Unix features we are discussing, that is called multi-user, multitasking, security, we call communication and help, these are all things. If I say Unix is multi-user or Linux is multi-user, even a Windows guy will say that, yes, my Windows is also multi-user. What is the difference? Yes or no? If I say my Unix and Linux is also multi-user, Windows people will say that even Windows is also multi-user. What is the specialty here? And I will tell you, whatever the Unix features we are discussing, right? This features is not current. I mean, it is not available with Unix now. It is available when we are using DOS. Getting my point? Okay, when we are using DOS, when the people doesn't know real meaning of multi-user and multitasking, at that time Unix was multi-user and Unix was multitasking. Okay, when the people doesn't know what is 32-bit, what is 64-bit, at that time Unix was 64-bit. You know when the Unix 64-bit operating system got released? In 1993. Okay, or 1995. In between they released a 64-bit operating system and 64-bit hardware. Really at that time we doesn't know what is 32-bit and 64-bit also. Understand? And then only the IT was coming up, then only the people know what is computer, what is keyboard, what is mouse. Yes or no?
Yes.
Windows 95 came from 1995. Okay, Windows 98 came from 1998. 2000 NTK. From there onwards only XP, all these things came into the market. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, if I want to say from 18 to 20 years onwards, the IT revolution came into the market. Okay, I will tell you again, last 10 years back also no one know more about the computers. Okay, from 10 years only there was a lot of exposure to this technology and people are coming to know what is this and they have started using it. Okay, so like this. So let me discuss something about multi-user. Just now we discussed multi-user. What is multi-user? Multiple users access the system resources is known as multi-user operating system. Multitasking means multiple people log in the server and then they run multiple processes is known as multitasking. Okay, and we have two types of jobs or a process. One is foreground process, another one is background process. Did you heard any time about this task?
No.
Okay, so you should understand one thing here. A task is also called a job and a job is also called a process. If I say task, job or a process is one other same. And when I talk about foreground and background process, what is this foreground? See, I logged into the machine as a normal user. I get a dollar prompt. Whenever I run any command here, okay, and it is running in front of you. Take an example, I'm having a huge data, I want to copy it from one location to another location. right? So it will be running in front of you, still it gets completed. That is called foreground process. Okay, if I want to say the process that runs in front of you, that is called foreground process. Now what is background process? It runs in the background. For example, I will just say something about daemon. Daemon is a background process that provides services. Understand? So when the daemon comes into the picture, when you power on the machine, there will be some internally some services will be online, made online, and that services is nothing but daemons only. So whenever you power on the machine, the daemons will come online. When you power off the machine, the daemons will go down. This is the information about the daemon. Understand? And we have something called normal user and a root user. You are going to get this prompt. And we have something called security. In order to secure the data and systems from from the other users and networks, we have to provide security. So basically, how do you provide security in Windows? We provide security in Windows by putting antivirus or firewall, right? So, but when it comes to Linux, we don't require any firewall or antivirus. But apart from this, we have some different types of securities here. One is called hardware level security, another one is called software level security. So hardware level security is nothing but putting password to the BIOS is known as hardware level security, and software level security is nothing but login level and FAP. So when I say login level, what do you mean by login level? When you are logging into the machine, you will put a username and you will put a password. But the same thing happens on Windows also, right? Then what is the specialty here? But when you come to the window, when you put a username and when you put a password, the password is being taken in a special characters. And whereas when it comes to the Linux, when you put a password, the password screen will be a blank screen, but no one can analyze the length or a strength of your password. Okay, that's the reason specifically when it comes to Linux, we call login level security, and we have FAP, that is called file access permission. When I say file access permission, nothing but every file in a Linux or Unix has a permission called read, write, and execute. And we are going to see how do we provide these permissions to the file or a directory. We are going to see here with the help of FAP. And it is a separate session. We will be discussing, okay, very detailedly about FAP. And apart from this, we also have advanced level permissions or advanced level securities, that is called sticky bit, setuid, setuid, ACL, sudo, RBAC, like this we are having. Okay, and you should understand one important information. These all advanced level securities, we are going to discuss on the administration. When we get into the administration, we will discuss, okay, there, clear? Okay, and we have something called communication. When I talk about communication, internally the user communications, that is nothing but right now we are using Gmail, Gtalk, right? Okay, Gmail is nothing but offline, Gtalk is online. Okay, so what is the difference between online and offline? Gtalk means when the people online, then only we can talk, like Hangout we have right now, Google Hangout. Okay, at that time we used to have this online and offline communication, but right now it has got outdated, no one using this technology. Okay, and apart from this we have something called help. What is this help? I know the command, but I don't know how to use it. Just run man followed by the command name. Then it is going to give you the help related to the commands. You can know what is the information about the command, what are the examples, how do we run, what are the options, all this information will be listed there. And with the help of that man command, you can know the detailed information of the command, and you can see the examples and you start running it. You're going to try that command and you're going to see the outputs, all those things. Okay, and help is nothing but getting help from the operating system, and we have a man command to get a help from the operating system. And the man command, this is the thing. So let me show you practically here. I know the command called something called cat. So what is cat here? You can see cat stands for concatenation files and print on the standard output. Okay, and you can read all this information here. For example, I know ls command. You can see ls is nothing but listing directory contents, listing the information. Okay, and I know the command called pwd. Okay, man pwd. What is pwd? Print the name of the current working directory. So you can use this man command for every command that you find on your operating system, and you can get help on you with your operating system. Okay, this is one of the best command that you can use. And apart from this, we also have a command called -help, -help, not -help, I think, -info, I think, yeah, info, ls-help. So you can use this like this also, ls-help. Even this also gives you information as a man command only. Okay, so this is information, and we also have info. I mean, info doesn't work here. Okay, so this is the information how we're going to get. And you have to understand one thing here, the man page, whatever you're going to list for every command, right, that generally divide into 8 sections. Generally divides into 8 sections. The first section is called commands, general commands. Second one is system call, third one is C libraries. Fourth one is special file. Fifth one is file format and conventions, gaming and screensavers. And seventh is miscellaneous, and eighth one is this thing. So for any command, if you want to list, if I just say what is ls, you can see the section is 1 and 1p. Okay, if I say something called cat, this is the information. If I say some admin user command, this is a section. Okay, so you can just read that particular section, man followed by 8 followed by the user add. Okay, only it displays that section. You can see user add, the section is 8, and it is giving system management commands information. You can know the detailed information about the command. So this is the way how it is going to work. So don't forget about the man command, and don't forget about what is, basically what is command is going to give you the information about the man page sections, and based on that, instead of listing the total man page, we can list the man page with the help of the number, sections, and we can get a detailed information about that. Okay, so this is all about the man command. Is this clear? Any doubts here? Yes?
No, sir.
No? So any difficulty in understanding the terminology, or I'm going with the normal phase, or you are able to understand the things, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop here. Tomorrow we are going to meet at 8 o'clock, and we are going to discuss about architecture of Unix, and then we will discuss directory structure, and we will start installing Linux operating system tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Okay, but still tomorrow you download VMware Workstation 11, okay, and just put it with you, and I'll provide you the key tomorrow, and I'll provide you the ISO image, 6.5 ISO image in tomorrow's session.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. So, and I will also forward this file. Just go through this particular file, and apart, see, I just kept important information here. Beyond this, if you want to read, there is no limit for reading anything. You can get into the Google, and you can dig the Google, and you can find more information, and more examples also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So there is no limitation. I will not say don't read this, don't read that. It's up to you. If you're okay, if you feel that you are confident with this document, then go into the Google and read whatever you wanted.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Why? Because all the time when you get into the Google, and the information will be different information will be there, and your mind gets deviated here and there. The first thing is you should know the detailed information. Only one thing. What is, for example, what is kernel? You should know the exact abbreviation. What is shell? You should know the exact abbreviation. Beyond that, you can read whatever you want. Okay. So the important things I have placed here, you just go through this, and if you're comfort with this, and after this, whatever you want, you can read it. Fine. Yeah. Why? Because from the first day I'm telling you why, because there is no limit to the subject. As an administrator, whatever you want to read, you can go to the maximum, and you can read it, and you can find it out. That's information. Okay, then I'll mail you this document. Okay. Bye. See you tomorrow, 8 o'clock.
Okay, sir.
Bye. And when you stop the recording, it will go to the My Documents. Okay. But if you stop, and when you quit from the meeting only, it will be saved in My Documents.
Okay.
And once it saves in the My Document, there will be a GoToMeeting converter. It asks you to convert. Just convert it, not a problem. Because when you convert it, it will convert into somewhere in MP3 or MP4 or this thing, and you can just play and check it out, cross check it.
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yes, sir.